We find clients are quite often not sure what a bookkeeper does and what an accountant does, and I thought it'd be helpful to let you know. Bookkeepers do a really good job. Accountants do a fantastic job, but they do different things. What the bookkeeper is doing is taking your paperwork on a regular basis. Now, the best thing is usually monthly, organising all the paperwork that comes through, sorting it out, and then processing it intelligently on some sort of software package. Now, there are loads of software packages out there, and essentially it's like choosing the calculator that you like best. You can choose to have one that you don't see very often, your bookkeeper looks after, or you can have one that's online. That's fine. Either way, it works. They all do pretty much the same thing. What's critical is that you need to release your time so that somebody else processes all the information properly. Now, what you need to do is make sure that the sales invoices and purchase invoices are put in correctly with the right VAT rates, because if you ever have an investigation by HMRC, they're not pretty. It's not a good use of your time, and you really need to make sure that everything's processed. So a bookkeeper will do that efficiently and properly. Now, as a result of processing all the paperwork, what they'll be able to do is work out who owes you money. They'll be able to produce an aged debtors report. That's what we usually call it in the UK, or a customer report, something like that. And the reports are normally set out into what is outstanding currently, what's 30 days old, 60 days old, 90 days old, and so on. And then you'll be able to go through the list and go, hang on, I didn't realise Joe Bloggs hadn't paid me. I'll give them a call and find out what's going on. Now, the other thing that they'll be able to produce is, because they've done processed all the paperwork properly, is a supplier report. Now, a supplier report will do a similar thing to the debtors report, but what it will do is it will show you who you owe money to. And that's important. You don't want to get suppliers in a pickle or not pay them on time, because the last thing you need is a county court judgment or hassle from the people who provide your stock, for example. Otherwise, you can have lines of stock cut off. So a bookkeeper will make sure all of that's processed correctly, and they'll make sure you're not overcharged. You'd be amazed how often suppliers send invoices through twice. And it's very easy to pay them twice, and especially if you're a busy owner of a business, you're rushing around doing everything, and you can easily just pay the bill or a direct debit go out twice and you never check it. It happens, and actually it's really expensive and time consuming if you don't pick it up there and then. Your bookkeeper should be on the ball and making sure that they have spotted anything that's gone wrong with your bank account. They should be checking that you've paid the right people and you've received the money in, and alerting to you if there's been a problem. They will always do a bank reconciliation for you, which is great, so you know that your books are tickety-boo, everything's fine. The other thing is, and that this is the other function that I think a bookkeeper should do, is do your VAT returns, and you need that so you can sleep at night. It's just not, you can't, in this day and age, with everything being online, HMRC knowing everything about us all, it's just not acceptable not to do it. And the fines just get worse and worse. It's just not worth the hassle. I think bookkeepers free up the time for business owners. And that's a terrific thing to do. It's one of those sort of underplayed roles, and often people think they can do it themselves, but actually, is that what you went into business to do? You didn't. You went into business to sell the product or provide the service that you want to do. Don't get all stuck with the paperwork. It's just not worth it. Now, accountants do a different job. I am an accountant and have been for a couple of 100 years. But what accountants do and what we're trained to do is particularly the compliance work for HMRC and to do corporate tax planning. Now, your bookkeeper shouldn't be attempting to do that at all. Accountants are trained, spend years doing this sort of work, and get all the information from all the various places. It's really easy for somebody to ask a bookkeeper, I don't suppose you could do my tax return, could you? It's not very hard. It's not very, it's not a difficult thing to do. And what happens is people get involved in trying to sort out somebody's tax return and they just don't have all the information. So my top tip is don't ask your bookkeeper to do your tax return. Ask somebody who's trained, who's sensible and whose reputation you trust. And better still, get a referral. Accountants are really great at strategy, really great at compliance work. And if you're looking to buy or sell your business, they're the people you should be after. Accountants doing bookkeeping work? Yes, they can. Is that what they're best at? Probably not. Are they the cheapest? Definitely not. Accountants are brilliant for what they're supposed to be doing, but don't muddle the two jobs. A bookkeeper will provide you with regular information so you can run your business. Let the accountants take the longer strategic role and ask them to help you with that.